All right, so now that some time has passed by and we have more details on the horrific shooting in an Austin Target parking lot, we'll check out the timeline of that and also stuff admitted in affidavit from the shooter. Let's check it out.
Sanders, Daniel has the day off. We're getting a detailed look now at a horrific crime spree that swept across the city of Austin Monday. Austin police saying in less than an hour, 3 people killed, others attacked, and it started in a Target parking lot. Here's a look now at that suspect, 32-year-old Ethan Nineker. He faces several charges, including 2 counts of capital murder and 1 count of first-degree felony murder. Now, these are the 3 people he's accused of killing: a 24-year-old Target worker, a 65-year-old man, and his 4-year-old granddaughter. Police say the victims all randomly targeted. And let's walk you now through a timeline. Police say around 2:15 p.m., Nineker randomly shot and killed Target employee Hector Martinez Menchuca, and then seconds later he fired into a parked 4Runner, killing 65-year-old Adam Chow and his 4-year-old granddaughter, who was in the back seat. APD says Nineker then took off, and just a few minutes later, police say he assaulted the driver of a water truck when trying to steal his vehicle. Then at 2:25, the 4Runner crashed into several cars, finally coming to a stop on top of another vehicle that you can see there. Police say Nineker assaulted a woman in another car.
What a whack job. I mean, it's just crazy that, I mean, this can happen to anybody. That's the scary thing, is that you can go to Target to do some shopping and you're in a parking lot and some nut job just opens up fire.
And then took her sedan. At 2:34, police say he tried to break into a Waymo before giving up and then taking off again. His next stop, La Casa Drive in the Barton Hills neighborhood off South Lamar. Police say he threw a brick through the window of someone he knew from Bible study, stripped off his clothes, and then he wandered around that neighborhood. Finally, at 3:06, officers tased and arrested Nineker.
All right, so a woman who was friends with him, who used to work with him, I believe, at a restaurant, said he was just, they used to go out to dinner together and he was normal. But then the past few months, he was acting very strange, became very religious, was acting just saying weird things. And she said it wasn't normal. And then this happened. So now, there's a confession and an affidavit. Shows some details on what he did and why he did what he did. It's pretty crazy stuff.
Tonight, we're getting a closer look at how a deadly rampage at a North Austin Target's parking lot unfolded and what could happen next to the suspect. And today at that Target, we saw increased security. Armed guards were walking with employees who were collecting shopping carts in the parking lot.
That's great that they're doing things to make the employees feel safer and the people feel safer after this incident. But I just wonder how long they will continue to do that. Will it be just for a short period of time, or is that going to be a presence that will be there permanently to make people feel safe? I'm just curious about that. Because, this may never happen again in that Target parking lot. I hate seeing that these things happen, especially at random. It was not a targeted attack. And you want people to feel safe in their work environment and their neighborhoods in general, where they're shopping.
Ethan Nineker faces murder charges for Machuca's death, as well as the deaths of Adam Chow and his 4-year-old granddaughter Astrid, who were killed when they were trying to leave the parking lot. Court documents show Nineker confessed to police, and today KVU's Kelsey Sanchez spoke with a criminal defense attorney about how this case could play out in court.
For many people in the North Austin area, this Target on Research Boulevard is their go-to store. But now these balloons serve as a reminder of what unfolded Monday afternoon. 3 people, including a 4-year-old, were the target of what police say appears to be a random act of violence. Ethan Nineker is accused of carrying out that attack, and what officials have remained firm on is his struggles with mental health.
Typically in a situation like this, where there's the behavior is so bizarre and so extreme that you would expect it to be a mental health defense type case and a plea of insanity.
In the affidavit, Nineker admitted to police that he killed Rosa Machuca, Adam Chow, and his
This guy needs to be behind bars for the rest of his life. Mental health issues or not. This needs to be the strictest punishment possible needs to happen for this.
granddaughter Astrid here at the Target parking lot. He also told police that he spared Chow's wife because he told them that mothers are pure. It adds once Nineker was arrested and read his Miranda rights, Ethan allegedly said, "Because I wanted to save them from themselves," and goes on to say he shouldn't have shot them. Retired judge and criminal defense attorney Charlie Bayard gave his input on that confession.
The confession itself does not remove insanity as a viable defense. In fact, it could in fact bolster an insanity defense.
Austin Police Chief Lisa Davis said on Tuesday Nineker was a familiar face to the department and had a history of mental illness. When he was found on Monday, he was naked, bloodied, and claiming to be Jesus. Bayard says the case will boil down to his mental state when he was given his Miranda rights.
As it relates to Miranda, he has a right to not make a statement, and he has to surrender and give up that right in a knowing and intelligent fashion. The first question is going to be, did he have the mental faculties to knowingly and intelligently waive any rights that he might have, okay? If not, then the confession or statement would not be admissible in court.
Chief Davis admitted there were failures in the system when it came to Nineker, but would seek justice for the families. Bayard agrees this should have never happened.
This has been a tremendous failure by the criminal justice system and the mental health system.
Nineker has been ordered to undergo a mental health evaluation. While Bayard says this appears to be a clear-cut mental health case, it can all change depending on the results of that evaluation.
This guy's had a history of problems in his past. He's had a history of these, doing crazy things. Let's take a look. ADP says, Austin Police Department says he has 2 previous mental health reports with them. This man has some serious issues. I think about the systems that had failed in a way as we move forward. We're looking at his background. Court records show a lengthy criminal history in both Travis and Williamson counties. In Travis County in 2016, he was charged with assault of a family member, criminal mischief, and violating a protective order. He had a DWI in 2017. He was charged with another assault in 2019, where he was accused of punching his roommate. That case was dismissed because prosecutors were unable to locate the victim. Other charges were either reduced or he served at most a few months in jail. In Williamson County, he was charged with marijuana possession in 2011. 2015, he had a case of DWI and one of criminal mischief where he was intoxicated and broke furniture, walls, mirrors, doors, and spilled his blood all over a home, causing about $140,000 worth of damage. That ended in probation. He also had 2 family violence assault charges, accused of punching and hitting his girlfriend's head against the wall. Those were later dismissed. So I guess he was not a normal guy. I mean, the friend said he was pretty normal to her when she would hang out with him, his former coworker. But this guy's history shows that he's anything but that. I don't know. I think there were some mishaps here. I think there were some things that failed. I mean, this guy's rap sheet is pretty long. And we see stories like this all the time with, people who commit these heinous acts. It comes out that they have a history of violence or they had some kind of mental health issue going on. And something must be done about that. It's not a Second Amendment thing. I support the Second Amendment. Law-abiding citizens don't do crazy things like this. Law-abiding gun owners don't go and shoot random people. It's people that have these problems who are committing these crimes. Violent criminals, gangbangers, And then you have these nut jobs like this who commit these crimes. So there needs to be something done about putting people in, you know, insane asylums. We need to put people in insane asylums and really get a hold of this, because there are too many people that die at the hands of nut jobs like this. We see it with school shootings. We see it in many other cases around the country. And there is a lapse in the system or something that's allowing this to continue on and on. And look, like I said, I'm a supporter of the Second Amendment. And I was talking to somebody about this several months back, and the guns are not going anywhere in America. They're not going anywhere. So you're not going to get rid of however many guns are in the United States, because the criminals always find a way to get them. But locking people up, prosecuting them and locking them up, and then putting these nut jobs away. Homeless people on the streets that have mental health issues, that commit violent crimes, even small crimes, need to be handled in a way to help them recover. And we can't put people back on the streets or give soft punishment or give a slap on the wrist to these people. It's just, I don't know. It's a sad situation that these 3 victims perished: a 4-year-old, 24-year-old, and a 65-year-old. So it just goes to show you that anything can happen anytime to anybody. So be aware of your surroundings, wherever you are. Target, Walmart, mall, doesn't matter, because there could be a chance that somebody is going to act a fool. You just have to be aware of what you're doing. So that's why a lot of people like to stay home. A lot of people don't like going out in public. And we saw a lot of things happen earlier the past several weeks. The maniac in Arkansas, who used to be a teacher here in Texas, who killed those 2 parents. The guy should have never been he should have never been picked up by another school. The guy had all these different complaints from students saying he was weird, he was creepy, and that should have never happened. He should not have been able to move around to different school districts. Went to Oklahoma, then he went to Arkansas. It shouldn't happen. So yeah, I'll leave that right there. I just want to keep you updated on what happened with the Austin shooter. I wanted to talk about it when it happened, but I knew if you wait a couple of days, more details will come out. We have more details. He was a total whack job. And it doesn't matter. You're a whack job regardless of if you're able to commit these kinds of crimes. You're a whack job regardless. But this guy had a history of being a nut job. So yeah, I'll leave that right there. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Take care.